Hello, my lovely homemakers. It's so good to be with you here again. I don't know if you feel the same way I do. There were times I'd sit in a room I had just decluttered not long ago, and it felt like I had never touched it. The drawers filled back up, the shelves crowded again, little things sneaking in without me noticing. I remember thinking, I just cleaned this. Why does it already look the same? And honestly, I felt tired and defeated. Over time, I realized it wasn't because I was lazy or not disciplined enough. The real problem was a handful of tiny habits so ordinary I barely noticed them quietly pulling my space and my energy back into that same cycle of clutter, no matter how much I tried. Today, I want to share a few of those realizations with you. Maybe you'll recognize yourself in them, and maybe they'll give you a gentler way to keep your home and yourself a little more at peace. So let's begin. Habit 1 is refilling the same space you just cleared. You know that feeling when you finally clear your kitchen counter or organize a drawer and it feels clean and uncluttered? It feels like a small victory. You feel a little more in control. But then something strange happens. A week or two goes by and that same space, the one you were so proud of, starts to fill up again. New things show up, mail bags, bills, random items that have no place. Soon, the space looks almost exactly as it did before you started. What's going on here isn't a failure to tidy, it's a comfort with chaos. Sometimes when we clear away stuff, what's left is space. And for many of us, that feels foreign. So we unconsciously start to fill that space. We put the mail down, drop a few bags off, throw in some junk. And before we know it, the clutter is back. But that's scarcity. It's that voice that says, you need some spare. You might regret losing it. You're not safe without enough. So how do you get out of it? Start by recognizing the urge to fill up. The next time you catch yourself putting something new into a space that's just been cleared, stop. Gently ask yourself, is this really what I need? Or am I just trying to avoid the feeling of emptiness? Then treat that empty space as sacred. Don't just leave it empty, give it meaning. Let it remind you that you don't need to fill every nook and cranny to feel safe. And finally, reframe the emptiness. Instead of seeing it as something missing, try seeing it as, this is comfort. I don't need to fill every inch. The goal isn't to live in a showroom. It's to live in a space that reflects trust. Trust that you have what you need, and that you'll have what you need when you need it. Habit 2 is, move instead of throwing. Sometimes we think we're cleaning, but we're really just moving clutter from one place to another. You move a pile of stuff from your desk to a drawer, then from a drawer to a closet, and finally into a storage bin in the garage. It feels like progress, but nothing's really leaving the house. It's just hiding in a new place. This often happens because we're avoiding a decision. Throwing away feels like something's over, and that can be uncomfortable. So instead, we procrastinate. We tell ourselves we'll deal with it later, but that later often never comes. The real reason behind this habit is fear. Fear of needing something again. Fear of making the wrong choice. It's a scarcity mindset, like better to keep it just in case. To break this habit, keep a simple throwaway bin in your home. It doesn't have to be fancy, just a basket or box where you put the things you no longer use. And when it's full, donate it. Don't move it. Don't question it. Just release it. And remind yourself, if I really need it in the future, I'll have it when the time comes. Habit 3 is creating for now, piles that never get dealt with. You're in the middle of decluttering. You come across something you're unsure about, and instead of making a decision, you set it aside. I'll decide on this later, you tell yourself. So you start a little for now pile, not quite keeping it, not quite letting it go. But here's the problem, for now often turns into forever. That pile sits there for weeks or even months because making the decision feels uncomfortable. What if you regret letting it go? What if you can't replace it? These little doubts creep in and they keep you stuck. The truth is, those piles are not neutral. They're clutter made of indecision. And that indecision usually comes from a lack of trust in yourself or in the idea that your needs will be met in the future. So here's a gentle shift to try give every undecided item a deadline. I recommend 7 days. If you haven't made a decision by then, that's your answer. It's time to let it go. And if you're always busy and feeling overwhelmed by chores and other tasks, don't miss the next video, The Best Cleaning Tips for Anyone Who's Overwhelmed. It's packed with simple, practical tips to help you move forward without burning out. Now let's get back to the next habit. Habit 4 is planning too much, acting too little. It feels productive to plan. You write out a list, organize your tasks, maybe even color code everything. You watch videos, save inspiration on Pinterest, and map out exactly how you want each room to look. It gives you a sense of control, like you're getting ready to make big changes. But if all the planning never turns into action, it becomes another form of procrastination. You're staying busy, but nothing's actually changing in your home. This habit is sneaky because it feels responsible. But underneath it is often fear. Fear of doing it wrong. Fear of not finishing, fear of making a mess. So we keep waiting for the right time, the perfect day, or the ideal level of energy before we start. Here's a small shift that can help. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, use the 5-minute rule. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just start. Pick one drawer, one corner, one shelf. You don't have to finish. You just have to begin. Because progress doesn't come from perfect plans, it comes from small, imperfect action. And once you start, even for a few minutes, your energy shifts. You feel more capable. And that's where real momentum begins. Habit 5 is keeping things for someday. You have a beautiful candle that you never light. A dress with the tag still on, waiting for the right moment. An expensive skincare product, fancy dishes, or a beautiful notebook that you're afraid to use. You tell yourself you're saving it for a special day, for when you deserve it better. But the truth is, when you keep holding back good things for later, you're sending yourself a message that today isn't enough. That you're not good 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 enough. This habit may seem harmless, but it slowly erodes your ability to enjoy life in the present. But life really isn't waiting for the perfect moment, it's happening right now. So take advantage of your good things. Light a candle. Wear earrings to the grocery store. Wear perfume just because it makes you feel good. When you stop putting things off for later, you start telling yourself a new story that today matters, and so do you. Habit 6 is holding on to things out of guilt. Some items are hard to let go of, not because we use them, but because they carry emotional weight. Maybe someone gave it to you. Maybe it belonged to someone you love. Or maybe it was expensive and you feel wasteful even thinking about letting it go. So you keep it, not because it serves your life, but because you'd feel guilty if you didn't. But here's something important to remember. Letting go of an object doesn't mean letting go of a person, a memory, or your values. It just means you're being honest about what your life needs now. You are not a museum. You don't have to preserve every item to honor the past. Try separating the memory from the object. Keep the lesson, the love, the story, but allow yourself to release the thing. Because holding on to guilt only adds to the weight you're already carrying. And you deserve to feel lighter. Habit 7 is forgetting to clear your internal clutter. Even when your home looks clean, you may still feel overwhelmed or restless. The counters are clean, the floors are neat, but there's something inside that's making you feel uneasy. That's a sign you're dealing with more than just physical clutter. Emotional clutter is real. It's things like old regrets, constant overthinking, comparing yourself to others, or feeling disconnected from what's truly important. And no matter how tidy your home is, if your mind feels cluttered, you won't feel at peace. That's why it's important to clear your internal space too. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just take a few quiet minutes each day to breathe, pray, journal, or meditate. Ask yourself, what's weighing me down, and what can I let go of today? Letting go isn't just about stuff. It's about the emotions, stories, and pressures you no longer need to carry. As you clear space in your heart and mind, your home will begin to feel more airy as well. Even when your home looks clean, you may still feel overwhelmed or restless. The counters are clean, the floors are neat, but there's something inside that's making you feel uneasy. That's a sign you're dealing with more than just physical clutter. Emotional clutter is real. It's things like old regrets, constant overthinking, comparing yourself to others, or feeling disconnected from what's truly important. And no matter how tidy your home is, if your mind feels cluttered, you won't feel at peace. That's why it's important to clear your internal space too. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just take a few quiet minutes each day to breathe, pray, journal, or meditate. Ask yourself, what's weighing me down, and what can I let go of today? Letting go isn't just about stuff. It's about the emotions, stories, and pressures you no longer need to carry. As you clear space in your heart and mind, your home will begin to feel more airy as well. Here's a list of 7 seemingly small habits that will quietly help keep your home and mind in a more organized and free state. You don't have to do it all today, but you can choose to make one change. One small release. One way to make your home and your heart feel a little lighter. And if you're always busy and feeling overwhelmed by chores and other tasks, don't miss the next video. The best decluttering tips for anyone who's overwhelmed. It's packed with simple, practical tips to help you move forward without burning out. Subscribe to stay tuned. I'll see you there.